J.P. Crawford throws, and that's a double play. Wow!
What a play by Kyle Seager. Justice Sheffield strikes out the side.
Wow.
Marco Gonzalez, Bulldog tough, you bet.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Riz, and welcome to another virtual Mariners Care Community Tour for the 2021 season. For the past 30-plus years, we've been able to travel around the Pacific Northwest on a bus with players and members of the front office and even the Mariner Moose. But for everyone's safety this year, because of COVID-19, we're still coming your way virtually. Today, we're going to connect with fans and communities throughout Alaska, Idaho, and Montana. We have a lot to talk about with spring training right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers report to Peoria, Arizona just 1 week from today on February the 17th. During our program, we're going to visit with two of our talented young players who are going to put together an exciting new season of Mariners baseball. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. And we'll also be joined by one of our Root Sports Ultimate fans who's going to help get us ready today with questions and answers. Before we turn it over to you to ask some questions for our two special guests as well, and you can join us through the Q&A function on your screens. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our very special guest. With us today, our Mariners first baseman and 2020 Gold Glove winner, Evan White. Evan, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
It's great to have you here. And Mariners second baseman and outfielder. This guy a couple of years ago played 7 different positions. He did a great job in the infield and the outfield. Second baseman, outfielder, Dylan Moore. Dylan, thanks for coming by tonight.
Hey, good to be here.
Also joining us today for our Community Tour Partner Spotlight is Nick Enslow from Montana. Nick is the area director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Yellowstone County. We're also happy to have Dr. Nate Ward with us as well. Nate is the 2019 Root Sports Ultimate Mariners fan from the great state of Idaho. Let's start off with you, Nick. As part of the Mariners Care Community Tour each year, we get the chance to visit the boys and girls clubs throughout the Northwest to share the Mariners' dream team message, sign autographs with the kids, and participate in local club activities as well. It's always a lot of fun, especially visiting with the youngsters. We were pleased to be able to visit with your club, the Bear Family Clubhouse in Billings, Montana, a few years back. Can you share a little bit about the mission of the boys and girls clubs, Nick?
For sure. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you guys having us on here. And really what we're doing is we're striving to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to realize their full potential as caring, productive, and responsible citizens.
That's a great goal, especially for the kids. These are tough times, as everybody knows, Nick. How have you and your staff adjusted to COVID-19 to continue supporting kids in your community?
Man, it's been wild. It's been a roller coaster. Our overall objective was really that major part of kids who need us the most. March, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of the 13th, I believe, is when we went on to full lockdown across the state. Schools shut down. It was really important for us to make sure that for frontline workers, for those who are essential workers, that their kids had a place to be so that they were able to be out there keeping all of us safe and doing the job that they needed to do. So at that point, we went from serving anywhere from 600 to 700 kids a day down to about 40. We had all of our staff. We really made it an objective for us that we were going to try and keep everybody getting full paychecks while they were working through the pandemic. So we were able to structure everybody on the floor with the kids in a way that kept them safe with, working on masking, on social distancing, disinfecting, sanitizing, and giving them the hours to make sure that they could continue to survive as well.
That's a lot of work. What's your favorite thing about working with the boys and girls clubs, Nick?
Oh man, it's the opportunity to just really be able to connect with families. I've been working with our clubs for over a decade now, and I think it's that opportunity to know that I've got every single year I get to work with the same families, build those bonds, and really be there to help them out. And this was just case in point, really what we're built to do, we're focused to do, and it's super excited about.
It's always fun to go around the different communities around the Pacific Northwest, all the different states, and bring the players there, but always the highlight and the hit of the tour is the Mariner Moose. What's the reaction of the kids like when the Mariner Moose shows up at the Boys and Girls Clubs?
Oh man, it's funny because we're in Montana. We're kind of in a desert for pro sports over here. We don't have a lot going on. We've got a few things, but man, to have a professional sports mascot show up with Mariner the Moose. I mean, it's just great to watch those kids light up. Be able to, oh my gosh, I've seen this guy on TV. It's really something special. Hey,
thank you, Nick, for joining us today and all your great work in Yellowstone County. I got to ask you, did you start growing that beard at the start of COVID? The shutdown, or
I did. No, it's been a few years.
Well, that's outstanding. Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thank you, Rick.
Nick Enslow, thank you, and all the boys and girls clubs throughout the Pacific Northwest who continue to be a positive place for kids in our communities. Guys like Nick and all the volunteers do such a great job. Let's bring in Nate. Nate Ward, in 2019, you were named the Root Sports Ultimate Mariners fan from the state of Idaho. And Nate, welcome to our program tonight. What was that experience like for you?
That was thanks, Rick. I appreciate the invitation and getting to spend some time with you. It was awesome. I was able to bring my daughter along with me, and I mean, this was Felix's last game. We got to show up for that. We got to watch Dylan save the inning with that incredible catch out in the outfield. Awesome. And it was just a great weekend. It was a really good experience.
You mentioned that memory there. As the ultimate fan, what are some of your other favorite memories as a Mariners fan down through the years?
Oh man, yeah. So I actually got to kind of skip training for half a day.
Whoa.
Watch Felix's perfect game. I was down in Phoenix. The game was on. A guy I was working with had MLB TV, the pass. And I turned the game on about fifth inning. I'm like, I'm going to stop. I'll take half a day off. Like, I got to watch this. So I got to watch Felix's perfect game. Of course, the double in 95. I mean, that probably solidified, it for me as a kid. But
Yeah, Edgar's doubled down the left field line to win Game 5 of the American League Division Series against the New York Yankees, the biggest hit in our franchise. And Felix striking out Sean Rodriguez for the final out in the perfect game, August 15th, 2012. Wow. Some great memories, buddy. We're going to make some more with Dylan and Evan here in the very near future, starting here in 2021. All right, now it's time for our fans to start adding questions to our Q&A function. So all you fans out there, go ahead, start asking questions right now. We'll get to them a little bit later on in the program. And I believe Nate has a few questions of his own for Evan White and Dylan Moore to help us get started. So Nate, take it away.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, really appreciate the opportunity to be here, guys. Lifetime Mariners fan. I have 3 girls, 3 daughters, and they play softball, and I help coach one of our teams. And so I have a couple questions for you guys, kind of geared toward them, if that's all right. So, the first question I have is it's about mentality and playing this game, right? This game can be physically challenging and complex, but mentally too, it can be tough. And I know that you guys have gone through both those, the downs, the lows, and the highs. Luckily, mine aren't televised nationally, but my question is this: so from struggle to success, consistent day in, day out, tell me what advice would you give kids and young players, not necessarily on the physical side, but on the mental side? What does it take to make that step and to keep going?
You want to take it, Demo? Or you want me to go?
Go ahead, buddy. I'll think about this one.
Sounds good. I mean, I think the first thing is you just got to try to stay as even keel as possible. You have to realize you can go out on defense and make a mistake, but next thing you know, you're up at the plate again, and now you have an opportunity to impact the game and vice versa. For me, I had a lot of opportunities offensively to put some stuff behind me and take it out and focus on defense. I think I was fortunate to learn that at a young age from my dad, and just really working on focusing on being able to separate the two and go out there and try to be a good teammate always. I think when you're focused on being a good teammate, that can clear up a lot of things and take a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, that's well said. I think I'm going to gear towards maybe a little bit a lighter side of things. I remember when I was a kid kind of having fun with my teammates and just getting together with my friends playing in the backyard or, some organized t-ball. My dad was the coach, and he would always tell us to have fun. There's certain aspects of this game that can be grueling, especially when you get into higher levels of it. And I think that the youth baseball, when I go watch it, and I remember playing it, it was some of the most fun games I've ever had. And it kind of developed that passion that I have for the game that enabled me to play for as long as I have. And so I would stress the fun part of the game. There is a level of focus that you need to have that you'll see in some youth baseball players and softball players and others not so much. And I think that, when you can get your friends to play together in a group setting and, kind of focus towards one winning goal together, I think that's a lot of fun. And that should be implemented in young kids for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it's just a fun game. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. And I think it should definitely stay that way. So the other question I have for you guys is about coaches and coaching in this game, right? I mean, coaches aren't out there on the field. You guys are out there doing your thing, both on the offensive and defensive side, but there's so much work that goes into getting you getting ready and coaches helping you get ready to be your best out there. And so the other question I have for you is about that. I would love to know of somebody in your past that maybe helped you realize that you could get to where you are now, a coach or mentor or a figure like that. And what was it that they did to give? What did they give you, right? How did they inspire you to do that?
Yeah, I'll jump in then. Start this one as well. I think my dad at a young age, it was always, again, kind of going off what Dylan was just saying right there, is have fun, and that's something that's really stuck with me. And like you were saying, the game's hard; it's going to punch you in the face sometimes, but you got to, at the end of the day, you're going to play your best when you're having fun and being a good teammate and stuff like that. And I actually got to the University of Kentucky. Rick Eckstein was my hitting coach and fielding coach, and he really kind of just taught me a lot about the game and just slowing it down and again, having fun with it. And you're going to have to put the work in. A lot of guys are incredibly talented, but one thing that can separate you is how you go about your business, how you work, and also being a good teammate. And, without those two, I definitely wouldn't be here today.
My father implemented some things in me at a young age. For example, just kind of develop my love of the game without kind of putting too much pressure on me. We were always on time. We were always respectful to my coaches and most of the coaches that you see when you begin to get to the high school and collegiate and pro level are former players themselves. So they understand if they didn't make it to that level, kind of what it takes. And they have a love of the game that continued them into the career of coaching. And so, that's kind of where my dad was my first coach, and he was the one who let me kind of figure out my passion for the game. And we were always going to Angel games as a kid. I'm a Southern California kid. We were going to Angels games. We were watching the 2000 World Series. He was always taking me to the ballpark, always taking me to the field, and that kind of instilled my love of the game. And he was always there for me, and I love him and thank him always for that.
Nate, thanks a lot. Some great questions for Evan White and for Dylan Moore, and we want to say congratulations for being our ultimate sports fan from the state of Idaho, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Nate Ward from Idaho. All right, guys, I get a chance to ask you a few questions. Before we get to questions from our fans tonight on our community tour throughout the Northwest here to Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. And Evan, I want to start off with you. Every year at every position, Gold Glove is awarded, but not too many rookies win the Gold Glove award. And you did your first year in the big leagues. You come away with a Gold Glove. What was your reaction when you found out that you won the Gold Glove award at first base?
It was definitely exciting. Kind of just all the work that we've put in throughout the years, and by we I mean myself, my dad, my family, my mom, my coaches throughout the entire process. It was incredible, and it was definitely very exciting. And I actually got a call. My phone or my TV was on delay, so I got a FaceTime from Justin Dunn, and I found out that way. So it was kind of a little funny.
Really?
Yeah. So. Found out that way, and then next thing you know, I was on the TV like, oh crap, I won. So it was pretty cool though. So it was definitely a memorable thing for myself and my loved ones.
What's it take to win a Gold Glove? A lot of work goes into being a good defensive player.
It's definitely a lot of work, and kind of going back again to what Dylan was saying is just having fun with it and enjoying the work. That makes it a lot easier when you're enjoying yourself and enjoying putting hours in the sweat and all that and stuff, and just having a good team that's going to help you work as well. I think that's really important, and really just having fun with it.
That's going to be your first of, I think, many Gold Gloves over there at first base, kid. Great job last year. Dylan, you put together a heck of a season last year. You missed summer camp. Prior to the season, after spring training was shut down, summer camp, you didn't get a chance to play because of a COVID-19 test. And then you sat out the first 4 games, but you got in there and you stayed in the lineup in game 5 and had an outstanding year. How were you able to do that?
Just confidence in my game. I think I had to be patient because I knew my opportunities would be few, but I knew that I was ready coming off of the offseason and what I showed a little bit in spring training before summer camp. And so while I was disappointed that I wasn't able to compete in summer camp, I was proud of myself that I made the roster, and that I knew I just had to be patient and wait until my time came and take full advantage of it. And I was able to do that when I did.
You have the ability and the athleticism to play so many different positions. What was it like going out to the ballpark, not knowing if you were going to be in the infield or the outfield? You handle that role so very well. And where do you think you're going to get most of your at-bats possibly this year?
It's fun. It kind of takes away from the, I guess, the everyday knowing you're going to play at first base, Evan. But I think that it's a little bit, it's a mystery day to day where I'm going to play. But I hope to take a lot of reps at second base this year and in the outfield and wherever I'm needed in order to get this Mariners team back into the postseason. So I'm ready to go wherever. And I think that my versatility can play a big role in that.
2020 season was a compounded season, just only 60 ball games. But I think we found out so much about our young players in our organization. Kyle Lewis goes out as the unanimous choice for the American League Rookie of the Year. Evan, you played so very well at first base. Dylan, you had an outstanding year. Justice Sheffield and Justin Dunn in the starting rotation and other young players that we saw. And then there's another wave coming of young players. Evan, I'm going to start off with you. Same question for both you guys. What are you seeing right now in the Mariners organization that's going to get us to the playoffs real soon?
Yeah, it's exciting to be a part of. And I think it's something that we all enjoy putting the work in. We all enjoy putting the extra hours in and getting out there. And we all want to get better each and every day, not just for ourselves, but for the guy next to us. And I think we're really kind of coming around the idea of winning and doing something that hasn't been done in Seattle for a very long time. So it's really fun to be a part of, and I'm very fortunate to come to work with these guys every single day.
Outstanding. Dylan, how about you?
Yeah, I see kind of a passing of the torch, turning of the page in kind of the culture around the players. We have some really good veteran presence among the players, and then you have some guys like myself who have a little bit of time but not a lot of time kind of finding their own, and then you have some young players. And so I think we have an even balance of all of that, and then with the prospects coming up through the system, I think it could be a very exciting time for the Mariners. And like Evan said, I'm also very excited to be a part of it, and the hunger of this team to get better, as I've mentioned before, is very good to see. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait for spring training to get started and see you guys get together one more time as a group, build on what you did last year, and see the younger players coming along as well. Last season was a very strange year, one of the most unique in the history of the game of baseball. As I mentioned, only 60 ball games without fans in the stands. But I thought the Mariners marketing department did a great job trying to create some sort of atmosphere out at T-Mobile Park. You had the pictures of the fans with the cardboard cutouts and sound effects. And I was just wondering, and again, a question for both of you. Evan, we'll start off with you. What was it like playing last year without any fans in the stands?
It was definitely strange. And I think, like you were saying, I think the Mariners team did a great job of kind of making it as close to game-like as possible, as regular game-like as possible. But it was just kind of funny, you dream up your debut your entire life, and next thing you know, you're doing it in Houston, and there's 5 ground screw guys clapping in the background. So it was definitely not exactly how I drew it up, but was very fortunate to be a part of it, and definitely something I won't remember anytime soon.
Dylan, how about you? What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely different. The ebbs and flows of the atmosphere that the fans can bring was not there, and it was replaced by some sounds. But overall, I mean, it was just baseball, and it was fun to play out there. It was actually cool to hear, you hear exactly what the guys at the dugouts are saying, what everyone's saying on the field, rah, rah, this and that. And I thought it was pretty cool. I'd like to ask you the same question, Rick. How was it calling games on the road while you were sitting in T-Mobile?
It brought back memories of when I was a 12-year-old. Because when I was 12 years old, I'd come home from school. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My mother was a huge Cub fan. She always watching the Cubs, and they were all-day baseball games, of course. And I would go downstairs, watch the game on TV, turn down the sound, and pretend I was Jack Brickhouse, who was the longtime broadcaster for the Chicago Cubs. And when I was 12 years old, I used to broadcast all those Cub games when I was 12. And I wrote him a letter, and he wrote me back. And that's how I got started in this business. Now here comes the 2020 season. And I'm doing a radio broadcast while you guys are on the road in Houston or in New York or wherever you were, because we played only on the West Coast. And I'm thinking, man, I did this when I was 12 years old. So it was so different trying to do a radio broadcast off the television monitor because we're a few seconds off. And if you were on at second base, Dylan, there was a base hit in the gap in right center field. I wasn't really sure where you were until I could see you. So I had to guess more rounding third, the throw to the plate is going to be cut off. And hopefully you scored, which 9 times out of 10 you did. But if you didn't, I'd go, oh, Dylan had to put on the brakes, went back to third.
Yeah.
It was so very strange. But we made it sound like we were actually there. We did our best to create that atmosphere, and everybody involved made it happen. But I can't wait for the day when we can actually travel with you guys again.
I know it. Yeah.
And
you did a great job. You did a great job.
And get energized by the fans. Thank you very much. And so did you guys. I don't know how you did it, because the fans lift you up. They give you that energy to, do it. So anyway, right now, let's go to our fan base up there in the Northwest and take some questions from some fans from Alaska, Montana, Idaho. And if you have any questions for Gold Glove winner, Evan White at first base, Dylan Moore, who had a breakout year last year for the Mariners. So this is your opportunity. This is our community tour. It's like we're on the bus and we're in your community right now. So start firing away some questions. And I think we have a question right here. What was it like going on the field in a major league game or stepping to the plate for the very first time? Evan, why don't we start off with you, because it was your debut, major league debut last year against the Astros in Houston.
It was definitely exciting, and like I said, it wasn't what I dreamed of, just with the atmosphere and whatnot. So I really wasn't too nervous until I started stepping towards the box, and I look up there, and there's Maldonado and Verlander and guys that have just been awesome for so many years, and it was like kind of hit me like, okay, it's go time. Here we go. Once the first pitch came in, you kind of came back to baseball real quick, but it was an unbelievable feeling and something I'll never forget.
That's awesome. Dylan, you made your major league debut in Tokyo, right?
I did in Japan. Yeah.
A couple years ago.
2019. That was a heck of a ride. Not what I envisioned either. Making my major league debut in Japan, but it was a really amazing experience. The fans over there were all over Ichiro pretty much the whole time until he announced his retirement there, and it was something I'll never forget. And it was definitely an atmosphere that was. It's a little bit different than the States. I remember being way more nervous for my home debut in T-Mobile, my first start, and but it was an amazing experience there in Tokyo. Something I'll never forget.
Hey, you know what? I jumped the gun here. We're going to get back to you guys. I want to call for a video here for a chance for the fans to take a look at what they can expect and look forward to in 2021. So what do you say we check out a video on some of the highlights from last year and what fans have a chance to look forward to this year?
Last season, baseball's youngest team led the American League in stolen bases. And it was one of the top defensive clubs in the game.
Holy smokes, Kyle Lewis!
Featured 2 Gold Glovers in the infield.
Are you kidding? That was gorgeous.
Evan White making the catch!
Plus another with the hardware in his trophy case.
What a play!
Don't forget, the unanimous AL Rookie of the Year.
God home run, Kyle Lewis! You cannot stop number 1.
And top rookie starter.
Justice Sheffield strikes out the side.
With the Bulldog atop the rotation.
Bulldog tough, you bet.
Oh, and throw in one of baseball's best farm systems. And we've got one question.
Are you ready for more?
Mariners baseball.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm ready for some more. And a lot more after that. It's going to be exciting 2021 season. So let's get back to more questions with Evan White, Mariners Gold Glove first baseman, and infielder, outfielder Dylan Moore. So let's get some more questions from the fans. Our community tour here in 2021 to the Pacific Northwest. Here we go, Evan. Where are you going to keep your Gold Glove trophy? Got a special place for it?
Yeah, actually, I have a little man cave room here in Arizona, so I think my wife and I are going to clear up some space and find a way to have that displayed out here. So we're pretty excited to have that and get that thing going.
You know what the coolest thing about winning the Gold Glove is?
What's that?
Every glove that you wear for the rest of your major league career will have a gold patch on your wrist right here. And you'll be able to look at that and go, wow, you're going to get more, kid.
I'll be honest with you. I ordered a black glove this year. Just I have my tan one. The tan one I wore last year. I got 2 of those coming in, but I had to get a black one as well because I think it's gonna look pretty good with that one. So I'm definitely excited about it.
Dylan, you're going to get one day too, kid.
Absolutely.
How about some more questions for Evan White and Dylan Moore? Let's go back to our questions here. We saw that video of a lot of young players on their way to the big leagues. These guys are already here. So we know that Evan's got his Gold Glove. He's going to have a special place for it. So we have any more questions for the guys? And I tell you what, I've got a question for you guys. You know, Perry Hill, unfortunately, couldn't be with you guys last year because of COVID-19. He was one of a couple of coaches that couldn't travel with the ball club or be with the ball club, but he was still with you every day and still talked with you. He is one of the best infield coaches in all of Major League Baseball. He's helped a number of players win Gold Gloves. For the both of you, Evan, we'll start off with you, then Dylan. What is it about Perry Hill that gets to you guys that helps you become even better defensive players?
I think it's just the intensity and then the simplicity of it. Something I was kind of struggling with was the accuracy of my throws, and he talks about just getting the ball to your chest, having the little arm separation and following your throw, and he makes it so simple and it clears up pretty easily. So I think that's something he's done for myself as well as other guys that he's worked with throughout the years.
How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, he has a way of explaining it that makes sense, and he doesn't say things just because. He has a reason for everything that he says. He has a reason for every single spot on the infield, why we play at a certain position, why we do pretty much every move that you do in the infield. And so I think that and he can communicate it in a way that's easy to hear. He wasn't on the field last year, but I remember a couple times after every game, he's sending us the videos of us fielding the ground balls and what we did good, what we did bad. And if I had to get out there at first base, I was FaceTiming him and he was walking me through where to, he was giving me a refresher course of where to play and, lefties and righties and different things like that. And so he was very much involved last year, even though he wasn't physically there.
I love his passion. Before the ball game at spring training or before practice at spring training, he had you guys working on that ball drill, ball off the wall, working on your footwork. And it was just like, man, this guy has so much energy and obviously he loves what he does.
Oh, absolutely.
So we got any questions for Evan White and Dylan Moore? Let's go back to our questions list from our fans in the Northwest. Tell me a little bit about, what are you looking forward to in 2021? Evan, your first year in the big leagues last year, albeit the 60 ball games. What are you working on during the offseason to get yourself ready for spring training, which is only about a week away?
The biggest thing I focus on was the mental side of the game, and that's something that I feel like in years past kind of came to me a little more natural and a little easier. And I really haven't had to deal with having a lack of confidence in the past offensively, and it's something I recognize I've dealt with it a little bit last year, and been working with Andy McKay a lot and just kind of formulating a game plan and continuing to grow that way. And I'm really excited to see, how that the work comes to fruition once the games get going. So.
How about you, Dylan? What are you working on during this offseason? What do you want to build on from what you accomplished last year?
I kind of just want to extend what I did to 162 games. It was only a 60-game season, and now we're going back to the regular 162-game season. And so I think that there's different aspects to that, both mentally and physically. And I think that just getting into shape to play a full season is in and of itself. And there's a lot of different things that you can do for that mentally and physically. And I feel like I'm ready. I feel like a lot of the guys are ready, and it'll be exciting to see everyone and to get going here in a couple weeks.
Because of a shortened season last year and trying to keep everybody healthy, I got one question from an attendee to the program tonight. The question is, what do you think of the new extra inning rules to kind of shorten things up so you didn't play 18 innings one night and have to play the next day? Evan?
Shoot, that's a good question. The way I kind of view it is I've only played 60 games in the big leagues. I can't really have too much of a say on stuff like that. I like things how they were in the past a little bit. At the same time, I get where we come from with the rule change. So I completely beat around the bush with your question, but that's my answer.
I guess I'll just attack it from what it is. It's definitely interesting. There's good and bad aspects of it. We put the rule change in and we did, there was a certain amount of games that went into the extra innings and runners on second. So they have the analytics, the stats on it, how many times the games kept on going into the 10th inning, the 11th inning, 12th inning. And we probably figured that, it would decrease some stress on the arms. It would decrease some it would increase longevity in the pitchers. And so I think that, in and of itself, it's a little bit strange. It's a little awkward. I know that it almost last year for us, it almost seemed like the games that we went into extra innings, starting with the runner on second, there was always more than one run scored, which I thought was interesting. Just kind of you're almost always on defense, and there wasn't. And sacrifice bunting, especially in the American League, has kind of been a lost art. So
right.
It'll be interesting to see if that makes it play back, or we just kind of go for the big inning straight off the bat.
Great answers, guys. So it'll probably be back again, obviously, this year. We've got a question here from Eric. He's 5 years old and wants to know, who are your favorite players growing up as a kid? Evan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and grew up a Cincinnati Reds fan. So I was a big fan of Ken Griffey Jr. with the Reds, and obviously followed him back to the Mariners and whatnot. But then I really liked watching Joey Votto play growing up. And again, being a Reds fan, I got to see a lot of the St. Louis Cardinals playing. So I'm a big fan of Albert Pujols, just a right-handed hitting first baseman, and played great defense. And to be able to meet him and kind of get to know him a little bit, obviously not super well, but just we have similar values and with our faith and whatnot, and to have some conversations about that was great. So he's been nothing but awesome to me, and have a lot of respect for him and those other two guys.
Awesome. Dylan, you were a Southern California kid. Who were your favorite players growing up as a kid?
Yeah, David Eckstein was a big the X Factor. He was a big influence on kind of the way that I grew up and played the game. He was a little bit on the smaller side, and I wasn't too tall myself until I got to college. And so I was always looking at him. Him and Dustin Pedroia were probably my top two players to watch. DP a little bit later, obviously. But David Eckstein was huge. I love watching, the little guy play short and be able to hang it with the big guns in the infield.
Yeah. Helped him win a World Series in 2002, David Eckstein. And I'm glad you said David Eckstein, the Shark. I loved watching him in the on-deck circle. He was constantly moving back and forth and back and forth.
Swinging the bat. He never stood still. Yeah, it was crazy.
And he was a great little ball player. Yeah. My favorite player growing up as a kid was Dylan Moore. I loved watching Dylan when I was actually Louis Aparicio, Hall of Fame shortstop with the Chicago White Sox, and Ernie Bank, first baseman MVP of the Chicago Cubs. All right, Dylan, you play all over the field, but what's your favorite position to play?
My favorite position to play is short. I grew up playing shortstop, and that's the captain of the infield, and that's definitely my favorite position to play on the infield or anywhere on the field is shortstop.
All right, we got some more questions from the fans. So let's get back to our fans. Here's a question for both of you guys. Yeah, this is a great question right here, because about 4% of you guys, once you're drafted or signed, get to the big leagues. What does it take to be a big leaguer? Evan?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and there's a lot of different ways you can go into this. I'm gonna try to give you as broad an answer as possible. But I think the biggest thing is just having that work ethic, and once you get drafted, I've seen so many people where they have all the talent in the world, and their entire career before that they just wanted to get drafted, and now that they've accomplished that, they kind of lose sight of you're still going, you still got to keep playing, you still got to continue to work and get to the big leagues. And that doesn't change when you get to the big leagues either. You have to continue to work even harder. And something Dylan, again, we've talked about earlier, just having fun with it and enjoying the process and enjoying the good times, enjoying the bad times, and just building those relationships, with the guys. And I think, being a winning big leaguer, I think those relationships are so important, and continue to grow as an individual as well as a player and a teammate.
Great answer. Dylan, how about you? What's it take to be a big leaguer?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. It's obviously, we know the numbers of big leaguers. It's very small. I think it takes a rare breed of a combination of things. You have to have the passion for the game. You have to kind of create a love to always improve on your craft. There's some guys that kind of just lose it. I talked to some of my friends who played when they were younger, and they just kind of lost the love and feel for the game, and I didn't really understand it then. I don't really understand it now because I've always loved it, but it takes a rare person to become a big leaguer, and to you have the talent, you have the work ethic, you always work hard, but there's always somebody who wants to take your spot. There's always somebody who's coming up behind you. The average lifespan of a major leaguer is so and so, you know what I mean? So, and there's a lot of minor leaguers, and the chances and the opportunities are slim, and so it takes a rare combination. Maybe a little bit of luck, a little bit of timing, different things of that nature, and but it's definitely an honor to be where we're at, and it's satisfying to see where all that hard work goes, for sure.
Exactly. It's like anything else, I think, in life. No matter what you do, you really got to believe in yourself, and work hard and put in the effort. And you guys have done that. And I'm proud of the both of you and everybody. How about some more questions for Evan White and Dylan Moore here on our community tour? Which of the two of you would survive the longest on a deserted island? Evan, you or Dylan?
I'll be honest with you. I live in the desert now, so I'm not by much water, and I don't have much fishing skill or ability. So with those factors going into, I'm gonna give it up to Demo, who's a Florida guy.
So the question was, who would last longer on a deserted island?
Yes, you or Evan. Yeah, on a deserted
that's
island.
Interesting. I don't see why we can't work together, Evan, on this one, and build and help each other survive in this situation. But no, I'm not sure. I think we would work together and figure something out. I don't think you get on my nerves that much, but yeah.
That's better answer. I like that.
Oh man, that's a great question, man. I'd have a rough time, man. I got to have my pasta. I got to have my lasagna and eggplant parmesan, man. I'd have a rough time eating scorpions and things like that. I don't know, that'd be kind of rough. Maybe Uber delivers no, they can't get to a deserted island. Anyway, how about some more questions for Evan White or Dylan Moore? What do you think, guys, of the new extra inning rules? So, well, we're going to go with the runner starting off at second base. I think we already kind of addressed that. I think it's going to shorten up the game and help you guys get out of there. Last year was a very unusual season with just the 60 ball games. Here's one. What does it feel like when your team gets a walk-off win? It's got to be fun.
It's honestly one of the most satisfying feelings in the world, especially, winning in the big leagues, it's a hard thing to do. And I think we were able to learn that early on this past year, with some of us coming up for the first time. It's not an easy thing to do, especially winning that way, winning that fashion at any level is incredible and incredibly exciting. And to be able to do it at the big league level is just even that more exciting. So hopefully we have a few more of those this year.
Yeah, Dylan, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like winning I would say like a mini championship. It's like probably the most exciting way to win in baseball, right? Barring like a no hitter or something like that. But yeah, it's like a mini championship. You get, everyone gets together. It's the it's the walk off hitters moment. It's a really cool thing to see and to be a part of for sure.
No, that's outstanding. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of them this year in front of eventually fans out at T-Mobile Park. How about some more questions from our fans up here in the Pacific Northwest for Evan or for Dylan? Go ahead and fire away if you have a question for Evan or Dylan. I think we got one right here. Are you excited to get Mitch Haniger back?
Definitely. I've only had a little bit of experience with Mitch, but he seems like a pro's pro and works his butt off, and he's definitely going to be a nice addition in the outfield and in the lineup. Obviously, he's an all-star. He's a heck of a player, and anytime you can have those guys on your team is awesome. So definitely excited to have Mitch back.
Yeah, Dylan, this guy went through so much over the last couple of years, with the 3 surgeries, and was an all-star in 2018. It's going to be nice to have, Mitch back in the lineup and defensively out in right field, right behind you.
Yeah, you definitely feel for him. I mean, he had a rough stretch there of bad luck, and I'm really excited to see him on his Instagram. How he's gotten back into shape and how he's ready to go for the season. I get goosebumps watching it, and he's a really good guy. He brings a lot to the table, not just on the field, but with his leadership qualities, and he goes about things the right way, and he's a good example for everyone. Yeah. And with the young team that we have. It'll be really good to have him back.
Any more questions for Evan or for Dylan? Because I'll jump in here again. I mean, this is your time to ask questions. But and I think I tell you what, I want to ask you guys. I want to jump in here again myself. Who did you really enjoy facing last year that really tested you as a hitter? Evan and Dylan, who was the one guy that you went up to home plate? Yeah, I really want to challenge this guy that you really enjoyed facing in a one-on-one battle.
I think for me, the first person that comes to mind when you say that and ask that is McCullers with Houston, and he absolutely owned me the first. I think I'm 1 for 6 with 5 Ks and a homer off of him. He's got really good stuff and it's challenging, and I think I was able to get him on the last at bat against him, and it was kind of exciting for me, and looking forward to having many more battles against him. He's got great stuff. He's a great competitor, and like I said, just kind of excited to get back at it and having those battles with him.
Tell me about the home run. Did he hang a curveball or was it a fastball?
It was a curveball, so I was finally able to get one of them. So he struck me out with, I think, all 3 of his pitches, so I figured I might as well get him back one of these days. So I was able to get one against him and able to extend the lead a little bit.
Outstanding. Dylan, how about you? Who's the one guy that you really enjoyed facing?
McCullers popped up in my head. I think he's definitely very tough to face. The part of him being really tough to face is that Maldonado was his catcher, and that guy can really feel a game out and calls the game really well, one of the best. And so those combo two are really good. I always had a tough time facing Ty Buttrey from the Angels in the bullpen because of his
hard.
He throws hard and he's very tall. The tall pitchers, they have a presence on the mound, and I'm looking forward to getting back and facing him again, and maybe I'll get a redemption home run the same way Evan did off of Lance.
Mariners some years ago had a really tall pitcher here. He was pretty good. Randy Johnson.
I've heard of him once or twice.
What's that, Evan?
I've heard of him once or twice.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Made the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and I'll tell you what, when he first came to the ball club in the trade from the Montreal Expos, he was throwing 100 miles an hour all over the place, and it was a very uncomfortable at bat for a lot of guys. At spring training, guys didn't want to face him. He didn't want to get in there because he was all over the place, and he made one little adjustment. In 1993, Tom House got a hold of him, and he had a little talk with Nolan Ryan, and he was landing on the ball of his front foot. And Nolan said, "You're throwing uphill." He says, "I'm throwing uphill. I'm coming on the mound." But he said, "Land on the ball of your foot. Now you're throwing down on the slope of the mound at 6'10", and all of a sudden the control was there for the fastball. The control was there with Mr. Snappy, his slider, and boom, he became a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. He landed on the ball of his foot, and everything after that, he went on to win over 300 games and the strikeouts, and really enjoyed being around Randy Johnson. He became a Hall of Famer with us and then had a Hall of Fame career. Talk about adjustments. We got a few more minutes here. Dylan, tell us a little about an adjustment you talked with me about in the media about last year. You made much more contact by keeping your bat through the zone a little bit longer through the hitting area. What adjustment did you make in that regard, and what did that allow you to do? Because I saw you hit some good home runs to the opposite field and right center.
Yeah, it was a combo. I was trying to get a little bit more direct to the ball, down, if you will, to the ball. And then, yes, keeping my bat through the zone, increasing my margin of error on pitches, because hitting, is a lot of timing. And you're not always going to be on perfect time with every pitch. And so you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of room for error. And I was swinging and missing. So that's why I wanted to swing down on the ball a little bit more and be a little more direct to create some more consistent contact, and then continue my swing through the zone. So I had more room for error, so I can, hit those, make more contact and have more chances for balls to fall.
Evan, when you hit the ball last year, man, the exit velocity was outstanding. You hit some long home runs. What adjustments are you looking to make this year? Because it's not easy going from AA to the big leagues like you did last year.
Yeah, I think definitely exactly what Dylan was saying is kind of working on the mechanical side, but also going back to what I was saying earlier with the mental side and just having that clarity in the box and being committed. Because it's something last year that, I felt like sometimes I would be committed, and the next thing you know, it's like I'm getting ready to go. I finish my little routine. It's like, okay, but what? Like, what if he throws a slider instead of a fastball? And next thing you know, you're in your mind a little bit. So you think you're starting on time, end up starting late, and now it's like you only have the only option you have is to yank off pitches, is because you're late and your body knows that you're late. So your shoulder goes out of the way, start early, and then you end up yanking off everything. So I think, a combination of those two are the two big keys for me this going into this season, and something I've worked my butt off with and excited to see, what comes of it.
You're going to do just fine this year, buddy. Got a question here from Ryan. Besides T-Mobile Park, what's your favorite field to play at? Evan?
I think for me, the coolest one this past season, again, I've only been to the West, but I think Petco Park is beautiful. But the history in Dodger Stadium and just kind of being there and being in the locker room and just being able to walk around the park a little bit was really cool. And again, the history of it is what really stood out to me. So I'd probably say Dodger Stadium.
That's a good one. Great history there. How about you, Dylan? What was your favorite park last year? Of course, besides T-Mobile.
Yeah, I had I suppose with fans in 2019, my favorite place to play was in Houston. That place gets rocking, something different, and I will agree with Evan that the history behind Dodger Stadium and Chavez Ravine is really cool. Growing up an anti-Dodgers fan, with the Angels. We did go out there every once in a while for the Freeway Series, and it was really cool. And I'm excited to see if we can get out there with fans and see how their sound system is a little bit different. They got all the speakers out there in center field, and so I think it's shifted. But Houston was in 2019. Houston was my number one place to play.
Evan, wait till you get to Fenway Park in Boston or Wrigley Field in Chicago, man. That's going to be special for you, kid. Dylan knows about that. Talk about history.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a lot of fun there. Speaking of fun, here's a question from Ryan to both of you guys. Who is the funniest guy on the team?
That's a good question.
Who is,
Demo?
I mean, I know who it was. It was Vogelbach. No questions asked before he got. But now I think it might be up for grabs. I'm not sure. We'll see. There's a lot of guys who think they're funny, and maybe not be. Maybe not. But it's just it might not be. I mean, I don't know. We don't have a class clown per se, but that award could be up for grabs this year. Maybe next year we'll ask the same question. See if it comes around again.
For sure. Someone Seager cracks me up and Gravy cracked me up. Those are my two early front runners. Donnie Walton. Actually, Donnie Walton, he's my father.
Donnie's hilarious. Yes, very funny. When you get Donnie out of his shell, absolutely,
yeah?
very, very,
Oh, yeah.
very funny. Yeah, definitely.
He's awesome to have around. We got a lot of good guys that we can choose from. So maybe this time next year we'll get back together and have a better answer for you.
All right. And you got any stories, a practical joke you could tell or not that Donnie pulled or anything like just naturally funny or?
See, for Donnie, I don't think there's any like pranks he pulls. He's just the way he presents stuff is just so funny to me, and just his presentation, what he says, he's just a funny dude. So no crazy stories or anything like that.
Awesome. Here's a question. I love this one. When do you think the Mariners will win a World Series?
As soon as possible.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're working for. We got to take care of the small victories and stuff like that, and winning our process every single day, and
exactly
lead to winning ball games, and then winning ball games leads to winning more ball games, and then hopefully that leads us to the World Series, and we're going to win some ball games there. So that's what our goal is.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to just kind of build a foundation of culture and winning and stuff, because that's what all the great teams who win have. And so yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but I feel close. I feel excited that we're headed in the right direction.
Got a quick question here. We got to wrap the next few minutes, but this is a good one. How do you select a walk-up song, and what are your walk-up songs, Evan?
Well, it's something. I'm actually changing mine this year, and I'm actually stealing Austin Nola's because I just really like the song, and I think it tells a nice little story behind it. But I think you got to kind of just listen to the song and, whatever kind of music you like, and kind of go from there. Like last year, I had a Christian walk-up song that's kind of stuck with me for the past couple of years, and, I kind of always view that it's an opportunity to share my faith and what I believe in. And, this song I chose this year, I heard Nola raking with it all year long and stuff before he got traded over. So it's a great song. And I guess my secret's out there. I'm stealing it from him. So that's about it. What's
the title of the song? What song is it?
They Don't Know by Jason Aldean. So
awesome.
Once you hear it, Riz, you'll know it's Nola's. I'm actually pretty sure Nola stole it from Seager.
Yeah, I was about to say, Riz, it was Seager's in 2019. It was
really?
Nola's in 2020, and now it's sticking around in 2021.
Okay, hopefully we can keep that for many, many years to come.
All right, that's
a
great song. How about you, Dylan? What's your walk-up song, and how do you choose it?
I let my sisters-in-law choose them. My wife is from Puerto Rico, and I've been listening to some reggaetons ever since I met her, and I've gotten really into it. But I don't keep up in the fact that I keep up with kind of like the new releases of the songs, and so I kind of just I ask them, and they give me some good songs, and I choose it that way. That's how I choose my walk-up song.
Oh man, that's gonna be a lot of fun. If I had to choose a walk-up song, it'd be "That's Amore" by Dean Martin. When the moon hits your eye like a pizza pie, that's amore. Sing
Absolutely.
it.
That's a good one.
Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I wish we had more time. Evan White, Dylan Moore, thank you for joining us here on our community tour 2021 as we moved around the Northwest to Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. Our fans up there in those three great states. I tell you what, we are a regional ball club, and our fans up here in the Northwest really support you guys and our franchise. And they have ever since Diego Segui threw the first pitch back in 1977. They are all looking forward to an exciting 2021 because of young players like you, Evan and Dylan. And I can't wait for spring training to see how this ball club is going to come together. And all the young players are going to be coming up through the ranks as well. And I tell you what, I'm excited about what you guys are going to accomplish this year. So again, on behalf of all the fans in the Pacific Northwest, thank you guys for joining us tonight here on our community tour.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and for all your support throughout the years, and hopefully we can do something cool for you guys here soon.
It's going to be great. Evan,
thank you.
Guys. Thank you very much, buddy. Well, that wraps up our question and answer session with Evan White and Dylan Moore, two outstanding kids. Thank you guys for your time. I'm looking forward to an exciting 2021 season. I know you are too. We'd also like to thank Root Sports for their support of the Mariners Care Community Tour. It's always so much fun, as we have in the past, getting on the bus and visiting with everybody, the moms and dads, and especially the kids. And remember, you can be a part of the game day experience with Root Sports by using the hashtag #WhereIRoot on Twitter and show us where you're cheering from. You could be featured on air during a live Mariners broadcast. Use the hashtag #WhereIRoot and show us what you've got. And be sure to visit Mariners.com/community tour for information on how you can join us again for future Mariners Care Community Tour events, including our upcoming youth baseball and softball virtual clinics hosted by the one and only Angie Benting. So on behalf of Evan White and Dylan Moore and all the folks behind the scenes, I'm Rick Riz saying thank you for joining us tonight on this community tour through Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. So long, everybody, for now, and we'll see you at spring training here in the next few weeks. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Evan. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Good to see you, man. I think I'm doing this again with you tomorrow. Or no, maybe I'm doing it with Dave.